welcome back to Mr. John Bouchier!
Listen, what have you been doing today?
I'm fishing.
Oh, you catching me?
Thought some of you doing something wrong. Can you bring that fish on a boat this afternoon, please? Here she comes. Lovely, thank you very much. Give a few chips in, I'll have a fish supper after.
Now, this is fantastic, isn't it?
Very nice indeed.
Yes.
36, 24 and 3 and 6 a pound, as you know.
Where did you find it?
I didn't, I was still looking for it. I can't say.
Hello, this time I'm talking about theatrical digs. Now, theatrical digs differed from a normal bed and breakfast in as much as that they would, knowing that we were working in the evenings, they would give us breakfast about 10:30 in the morning, and then we'd wander off into town and chat up the girls in Woolworths or go to the pictures, which we could do on our equity card, didn't cost us anything. So we'd go and see a film, and then we'd come back, and about 5 o'clock they'd give us a cup of tea and a sandwich. We'd go to shows, do the 2 shows, and come back, and then after that, about 10 o'clock at night, we'd all sit round a big table, and they would give us a proper dinner. So that was, as I say, the difference between bed and breakfast and pro digs. And you'd get a list of pro digs by writing to the theatre a week before and saying, you know, I'm working with you next week. Could you let me know where the digs are? Or you met other professionals on Waterloo or Crewe Station, and they'd say, oh, you're at Sheffield this week. Oh, you will stay with Mrs. What's name? She's brilliant, or whatever. And that's how you got to know about them. And as I say, they were very nice ladies usually. And I remember one of them used to say, well, they used to say to me, is there anything you don't like to eat? And I'd say, well, I don't like bread and butter pudding. Ah, but you haven't tasted mine, they'd say. So I had to endure 1 or 2 bread and butter puddings. But I got round that by saying, oh, I don't like rhubarb crumble, which I do like. And so I'd get that. So that was one way of doing it. There was one woman, I remember, she bought 2 houses and knocked them together. So she had 2 staircases coming down, you see. And one was for the legitimate artists, that's those that play in plays, etc. And then there was the other one was for the variety turns like me, you know, which we were allowed to come down. Now Max Miller, oh yeah, we used to travel up on a Sunday in the what they used to call the actors and fish train. You could get a reduced train fare if you showed your equity card, and we'd all travel on the train, and the star of the show would normally stay at the local hotel, whereas we would go into the pro digs, you see. But Max Miller, he would go into the pro digs, and of course the landladies were thrilled to see him, you see, there. And at the end of the week he'd say, oh, that was wonderful, how much am I in your debt, madam? And she'd say, oh, £4 or 4 guineas, whatever it was at the time. And he'd say, would you take a cheque? He'd say, oh, yes, certainly, sir. So he'd write out the cheque for it, and then he'd put on the cheque, the best digs I have ever stayed in. Well, they never cashed them. They used to frame them and stick them on the wall. So he actually paid nothing for his digs at all. Now, I remember playing in Dublin once. I was working at an hotel and staying upstairs in the hotel. And obviously the lady that cleaned my rooms had come in to see the show. Well, now in those days they didn't have television, and I doubt if anybody had ever seen a ventriloquist before. So she's made my bed and she's dusting around. She keeps looking at the suitcase on the floor. And eventually she says to me, is your man in the box, is he? Ah, God love him. What would you call that? Mentally retarded, is it? He says, well, he has you to look after him. Like you'd put a real person in a suitcase overnight. Well, that's it. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.
I'd just like to finish off with a little experiment in voice throwing. But for this I need the assistance of a couple of gentlemen. Anything I say to you from now on, I simply want you to say, yes, thank you. See? But don't actually say it out loud. I'd like you to mime it for me. Just go, all right, you've got the idea. And you, sir, anything I say to you, if you would say, oh, I know. But once again, mime it rather than say it. All right, got the idea. Right. Right, we've done our rehearsal. Here we go then. You ready for this?
Yes, thank you.
That's lovely. You sure?
Yes, thank you.
Having a nice cruise?
Yes, thank you.
Nice dinner tonight?
Yes, thank you.
He's very good at this, isn't he?
Oh, I know.
He's very elegant, isn't he?
Oh, I know.
You're quite happy to work with him.
Yes, thank you.
Well, now listen, I'll tell you what, they're very good at this, these two fellas. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to sing a song called For Me and My Girl. Now, when I get to the For Me and My Girl, if you just mime that for me. For Me and My Girl, all right. And you, so this time, you're the backing group, you go, itchy coo, itchy coo. Yeah, just mime it for me. All right, let's go. The bells are ringing.
For me and my girl, itchy cool.
The bells are singing.
For